My Soul to Keep was recently released on VOD. This is a film I knew pretty much nothing about until very recently when I saw the poster, thinking that it was some knockoff of Wes Craven's My Soul to Take. But I guess this movie takes itself a little more seriously since in Wes Craven's version, you only get to take it, but maybe you have to return it. This one, you get to keep it. It's yours. So yeah, I checked this out blind, and I was told that this was essentially a kids movie, a kids horror movie, and yes, but what's really weird about it is that there's a couple scenes that aren't. The whole rest of the movie plays out like a kids horror flick. But there's like three instances, very short lived on all of them. One being the ending, which might be a little much, just a little, for certain age ranges. I'd say if you have someone like a kid, maybe, I don't know, 10, maybe 12 or up, you'd be totally fine. But there's a random insertion of the word fuck, which I found odd. It just felt so misplaced in this movie. This whole film is so kid friendly. And then his buddy, is into women, into boobs and whatever. And so there's like this close up on his screen of a chick's tits in a low cut bra. And it just was like neither of those things needed to be in the film. And this would have felt like a straight up kids horror movie the whole way through, and I would be able to easily recommend this to kids of almost any age that are just wanting to get into horror. Now, do I think that kids can handle that? Sure. It's the F word, big fucking deal. I don't worry about that kind of stuff at all personally. That's my own way of parenting. Not like I'm just trash talking around my kids or whatnot, but curse words have never been a thing to me. I don't really give a shit. And then a girl's breasts in a bra isn't all that big of a deal to me either. So for me personally, it's not a big deal. It's just I know that how sensitive people can be, and yeah, I get fuck them, right? But it just feels so out of place. It just is like, why? Why is this in here? Because this isn't. You could compare it maybe to something like The Sandlot, where that's a little older aged. The kids in this movie are like 10 or younger. I mean, they're really young. So, what this movie's about, now that we're freaking 3 minutes in, and I'm sure I'll get shit for that. Oh, the dude never gets to his point until like a couple minutes in. The comments on my videos sometimes, oh, Jesus Christ, man, I just read them like, the fuck. I'm just gonna sit here and just read ingredients lists off shit for a while. That's what I want to do. I want to just waste people's fucking time. All right, I'm getting a little annoyed now. But moving on. So what this movie is about is we have got this young kid, and he is afraid of a creature or a monster in the basement. And this monster is called the Burgley Monster, which that name alone should kind of tip you off to what age range that this would appeal to. Could you imagine a monster in a real adult horror film being called the Burgley Monster? People would laugh right out of the theater. Although, we did have the Bye Bye Man. So, I don't know. That was meant for adults, right? But yeah, of course, no one thinks it's real. It's all in his head. And he is just dead set on this. And he's going to prove it. He's going to defeat it. But of course, he's terrified, and he's at odds with his sister, whose sister is quite a bit older. She's like 16 years old. And, overall, I thought the movie was good. I think it's a really good starter horror film for children, for sure. But the film felt very uneventful. The characters in it were mostly lacking for me. I felt like there were characters set up that were not really developed much at all. like his buddy, his sister, his parents, all these, you know, other characters that should have been more primary focused characters. Yes, this is the kids' movie for sure, but I don't know. It feels very straightforward. Like there's not much going on except for the kid is afraid of this monster and he is looking for it, and you know, a couple little things happen around it, and then that's pretty much it. The movie's over. I didn't find it to be all that deep or interesting. Now, as I kind of said, it is a kids movie, so you're not going to get too deep with it. But I just would have enjoyed more of an exploration into this kid, into the monster. I wish we would have gotten more, time with the monster. There could have been a lot more events. You know, as far as like the scares and the horror goes in the movie, it's very, very seldom. There's this looming feeling of it, I suppose, throughout, but not in a tension building, atmospheric kind of way. And I don't know. I guess I'm sitting here critiquing a kid's movie, but it also tries to present itself like it's for adults as well. So I judged it that way because that's kind of the way it was also presenting itself. I feel like this was trying to appeal to all age ranges. And for my demographic, I didn't think it succeeded. I just felt like this needed to be fleshed out way more. There needed to be a good amount more going on here. I never really knew much about what he was after, why, what was going on with this thing. And a lot of things are very, very been there, done that kind of stuff. Like, oh, the monster is afraid of light. How many times are we going to see that? How many times are we going to rehash the light, is harms them or scares them off or what? Jesus Christ, man. That thing has been overdone. But yeah, so, if you have a kid and you want to check out a newer horror movie with them and you don't know what to watch, I think this would be a good one for both of you. I liked it. I just had my issues with it. And I ended up being like, that was good. It was fine. Wasn't crazy about it. It's really well shot. I think the acting in it from the kid and stuff is well done. It's a good, it's a well-made movie, lower budget, but it's pretty well made. I just felt like there could have been just a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. It would have given the movie a little more charm, a little more memorability. Like this, in the end, I feel like I'll forget about next week. And this film had the potential to be something unique, something special, something that, kids would grow up on and be like, oh, remember freaking My Soul to Keep, with the burglary monster and all that? It'd be like a nostalgic film that kids grew up on, like, The Goonies or something like that. And it had the potential set up here. Just never delivered on any of those things. Like, there's no memorable characters. The monster, while it does finally make an appearance at some point in the movie and is extremely cool, it's just so unbelievably short-lived and unexplored, and it feels like there is so much more. So, I don't know. I was kind of disappointed in the movie when it ended. Just thinking, oh man, I really feel like that could have been better. So, I'm not with you, Cecil. I did not find the movie satisfying, but I did find the movie passable. I would watch this with my kids, for sure, and I think they'd be fine. So, let me know if you check this out. Let me know if you think what age range that you think that was appropriate for this, and let me know if you want me to read any ingredients lists in my next video and waste any more of your time. Adios.